Just a boy, Christmas brought so much joy. Couldn't wait for the presents and laughter. I couldn't sleep late at night, looking for Santa with lights. Those are the memories I still remember. Then I became a man, lost sight of who I am. But right in front of me was the answer. 'Cause on Christmas I feel joy, and I turn back to a boy. The answer is to stay young forever. This is not a Christmas, this is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas, this is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas, this is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas, this is not a Christmas song.
Ho, ho, ho. Hello, Star Wars fans. You know, there's 335 days until Christmas 2025. And this is not an on-time stream song at all. Boy, oh boy, what a morning. Mandatory work meeting, and then I've got issues. My customers are contacting me saying, "Hey, we can't use." It's time to take a break. It's time to take a look at some stuff. We have a lot of Star Wars news to talk about. There are a lot of stories. So let me get this ready and say hello to all of you who are here. I really appreciate you guys being patient. Except Matt. Matt's never patient. But no, no, I appreciate you guys being patient. I appreciate you guys being here. Let's see if I can get this to work right. It's giving me hassles. Let's see. Here we go. Let's get this positioned so I can see you folks and you can see me. I saw Real Ben. We had a little chat last night, this morning on the old Twitter X. You know, when news like this, all the news we get from Star Wars comes from leaks. And then you're stuck with the interpretation. I saw somebody earlier say it's like the telephone game, except, you know, magnified. And it's by the time these stories get around, they get blown up into all kinds of nonsense. So I appreciate it. Jedi Mike, I know we're going to see if we can bring Jedi Mike in just a little bit here. And let me see. Yeah, we're gonna see if we can bring Jedi Mike in. I'm sorry, I'm getting work messages here, and just had to check that. Let's see who else is here. Jedi Mike. We've got Skywalker's Academy. Good to see you, my friend. Oh, speaking of some of you all, you know, the season leaderboard from this Skeleton Crew series is scrolling by below. If your name is in that list, please reach out to me so that I can arrange getting your merch to you, your Star Wars Santa merch. If I haven't heard from you when I get time, I will reach out to you. But I've been kind of busy, so if you reach out to me, it'll save me just a little bit of time in trying to find y'all. So if you send me a direct message, either here on in Discord, in Patreon, in Twitter, X, whatever the means, send me an email. You can find my email address on the YouTube community. You can find me there on the details for my page. Brandon, good to see you. Hello there. Thanks for being here. And let's see, who else is here? Yes, we have some Bespin Bulletin reporting to do. And actually got permission from Bespin to share a story that he has not published yet. He hasn't put into a story format that when he does will become the source for all kinds of stories across the internet. You'll hear it here first. And I have Bespin's permission to do so. Yachty, there's my friend Yachty. Hello. Good to see you. Thanks for being here, Yadi. Thronkill, hola. Hello to you too. Nick, good to see you. It says good evening. Yeah, Quentin, hey. Oh, haven't seen you in a little while. Thanks for being here. Jude Law is going to be at the MegaCon in Orlando. Yes, I saw Yadi shared the MegaCon list, and we have the Skeleton Crew kids are going to be there as well. So if you're looking to go to a con one time this year, maybe the MegaCon in Florida would be where you would like to be. Let's see who else is here. Baymax, hello. Oh, there's Baymax. Mike Porter, the one and only, the chosen pun himself in the chat. Good to see you, Mike. And Seth Nico, hello. Nick says, pretty sure I won the contest. No. You did not. And you guys could probably hear Peanut up there screaming. She's in a bad mood, so she's making all kinds of noise. Let's see. I think they're the only Star Wars actors coming. No, Ashley Eckstein's going to be there. You got to scroll down past the live action ones. Ashley is in the animated one, but I think that's it. I think you've got Skeleton Crew and Ashley. I think that's the I think that's it. Yes, the Jedi Mike says the chosen pun. That's Mike Porter. There's his link to his Twitter account. You guys follow Mike Porter on Twitter. He follows everybody, and it's a good way to find out what's going on out there and get a little dose of humor every day. So there's Mike Porter. Nick says, I love the Skeleton Crew. I did too. It was really good. Yeah, Bryce Dallas Howard. What was funny about this, Seth, is in that announcement, it says Bryce Dallas Howard's going to be there, and she's not listed with Star Wars. She's listed on there with Jurassic Park and that kind of thing. So anyhow, there's that. Surprise, Amandla isn't going to be there to meet Ryan Kennel. Last year, Hayden and Ewan were there. Yes. So let's see who else we got. Who else we got here? Star Wars Politics. Hello. His name's right there in the list. I did to get some merch out to you too, my friend. Thanks for being here. Okay. Yeah. And Bryce Dallas Howard and Ron Howard are both going to be there. So yeah, that's probably the reason. We have news, and we've had all kinds of people reading the news differently. That's what Ben and I were chatting a little bit about. Let me bring up some of these stories and share with you guys just a few things. This Sabersmith, hello, oh, good to see you. All right, so let me bring this up. Bespin Bulletin's got several articles on here, and we need to talk about these leaks from the Mando-Grogu movie, because they've got people worried, they've got people concerned, they've got people talking, and so what are they? Why are we seeing so many? And what is going on out there? Right? It says Gladiator Rhoda sounds a lot better than a potential Jedi Rhoda. I would agree with that. So let's see. Bespin's first article here about Sigourney Weaver's character in The Mandalorian and Grogu. This came out last week, the 17th, but I don't know that we talked about it, but it ties in with all of the leaks. And I just want to go through these because when you put them together, you start to get more of the story. And I know Bespin has several stories in the works, and perhaps when he gets all of them published, he'll put them into one single story where you can kind of put all the pieces together. But I know this requires an extra level of detail that only people of Matt Risman's capabilities are able to do. But let's take a look. It says reports and leaks have been coming fast in the recent weeks, and today's details on Sigourney Weaver's character have been revealed by Jeff Snyder. And it says her character is in only a few scenes and as a colonel of the New Republic. And her character's name is direct reference to Alien's Bishop. She's playing Colonel Bishop, and she's only in a small amount of scenes. You guys remember this when we get to talking about Ryan Gosling in a little bit? Remember when we first heard that Sigourney Weaver was going to be in the Mandalorian Grogu movie? And people started thinking, oh, Sigourney Weaver is going to be starring in that movie. No, Sigourney Weaver is a star, but she's a huge Hollywood star, and her coming to Star Wars is just amazing. But that doesn't mean she's going to star in it. Keep that in mind when we talk about Ryan Gosling in a bit, right? It says, Bestman says, I can confirm what Snyder has heard, and he's heard from more than one source. I don't have a ton to add to the story other than she loves to play Sabak, a colonel who loves to play Sabak, right? It's worthless information, but that's all he's got at the time. But leaks are plenty. Look for more. And talks about it's scheduled for May 2026. So we're still a good ways off, right? So that's the first story. Let's tie that together with the second story. Right? Have they still to do reshoots and pick up shots for Mandalorian Grogu, or is it completely in the can? It is completely in the can in the sense that filming is done, reshoots are done. I would not guarantee that voiceovers are not completely done. Though they may have to do some voiceovers later down the road. That can happen in post-production. And it's good ways into post-production. So I've not heard of any voiceover calls yet, but that's the deal. Let's tie it together with the Rada the Hutt story, right? So we'll put the two together, and I thought Bestman did a hilarious job here of this image. And we see the gladiators here. And the story says the first few weeks of the new year has been busy for Star Wars fans with the information about the Mandalorian and Grogu. The second season arriving, blah, 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 right? So, but he says details of Sigourney Weaver's character, Rory McCann being cast as Baylan Skoll, that's Ahsoka, and Imbo being part of the Mandalorian and Grogu. Now, this story about Imbo is the third one. I don't have it in the queue here, but we'll talk about it in just a second. It says, I've heard a lot about the Mandalorian and Grogu since the final few weeks of last year. That's true. I started hearing some things around Christmas time last year as well. So, yes, Peanut is very vocal. Yes, she started before the stream. She's not happy. She wants attention. She wants me to get her, and hold on a second. Let's see. Hold on. Let's see here. Maybe this will make her happy. Let's try. Hold on. Peanut, you want to come visit? Hold on. Here. Come here. Come on. Will this make you happy? All right. Here we go. Now, maybe that'll make Peanut happy. Okay. There you go. All right. So we'll talk a little bit about these stories. And so since the final few weeks of last year, and it's still 15 months away, many details quickly found their ways online. So he's sharing another minor story. They said it's pretty minor, but is it? Right? We had previously heard that Rada the Hutt is voiced by Jeremy Allen White, is in the movie, and that Rada is sort of the core of it. There's been a lot of angst about this, right? And with this angst comes people talking about it being similar to the Clone Wars movie from years ago. Is this the same? Rada the Hutt was the central character there, where uh, they were trying to capture him, and Ahsoka was charged with saving him. And now are we in the same thing? Except now it's they're trying to capture him. Imbo is trying to capture him, and Din is trying to save him. What's the story? No. Let's get here. It says, when news broke of a White's casting, I shared Rada was kind of buff in The Mandalorian and Grogu. The Star Wars Meg talked about this morning. So, but many found this to be odd, funny, and confusing. That's because you have a couple of factors coming in. Oh, and don't scream. You have a couple of factors coming in. One, people who are just general fans of Star Wars, the general audience who have seen the movies, they know who Jabba the Hutt is. And when you think of Hutt, you think of Jabba, because that's the only Hutt you've ever known. That's the only Hutt you've ever seen. And then you get other Star Wars fans who have watched the Clone Wars animated series. They've read some comics. They've seen some other things. And in that sense, they're saying, wait, isn't that little Stinky, the little a little slime Hutt kid? What? So we have to remember, this has been a good bit of time since the animated series. He's all grown up. He's a grown boy. And so he's a full-grown Hutt. Now, not every Hutt has the same form as Jabba. You may even remember the twins from the Book of Boba Fett riding around. They weren't exactly the image of fitness. So they had that kind of slug appearance of the Hutts as we know them, right? So what's this about being a buff Hutt? Well, if you look into some of the comics, and again, Meg did a good job today. We talked about it some last week even, and I showed you an image of with the six pack and with he's got the guns, and he's doing well. Think of Rada this way: he's grown up, he's strong. It says his job is he's a gladiator in The Mandalorian and Grogu. Now this has got people also going, wait, what? I don't understand. What somebody needs some splaining to do, right? So we'll get into that in just a second. Let's get through the article. It says, given his profession, the buff body of Rada makes more sense. And in addition, he has some scarring on his face, from the battles he's been in. Like many other gladiators, Rada has a weapon, and that's a vibra-blade or vibra sword, which is common in Star Wars. And Rada is a far cry from little Stinky these days. It says, I mentioned in my article the story that Imbo is a villain. I like that Bespin kind of changed the wording here. It's important because the things that I started hearing back around Christmas time, Imbo is certainly part of what I heard, but I didn't hear that he was like the main villain. He's a bounty hunter. When you think about bounty hunters, they're hired by somebody. And if you thought about what you knew of Boba Fett from Empire Strikes Back, or say Empire Strikes Back, would you say that Boba Fett was the main villain, even though he's the one that was tracking down Han and was somewhat responsible for him being encased in carbonite because he helped Vader get there? Would you say that Boba Fett was the main villain? Well, no. He was hired. He was a bounty hunter. Think of it that way. Imbo is a villain in that he is a bounty hunter after Rada. And Rada is not necessarily a bad guy here, right? So he's being hunted down by a bounty hunter. Imbo, I don't even know I would call him a villain necessarily, only in that Din has been hired to, and he brings this up as well. He says, I heard mixed things about who hires Din, right? But Din, he heard it was the New Republic. And he heard it again from another source. That's what I believe. So Din is hired by the New Republic. Imbo is hired by somebody else. We'll talk about that maybe in a little bit. So if Din's our good guy, he's trying to save Rada, then Imbo is our bad guy. Is he the main bad guy? Well, no, he's hired by somebody. So he's not the main bad guy. It's whoever's trying to get him. It says, I don't know if Sigourney Weaver's Colonel Bishop hires Din or not, but that seems like a possibility. So it says, anyways, we're ways off, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Let me get caught up with your comments, and then we'll go further into this. So let me scroll up. I saw some comments come in here. And Big Bear Hut. Santa cheats. I don't cheat. Matt cheats. This the cheating and the lying. All right, let's see. Who else? I saw another comment come in here. I saw somebody come in. Seth. This is Rebel Sith. Rebel Sith. Yo, what's up? For some reason, I got unsubscribed. Did so a few weeks ago. Glad to join the party. Hey, thanks for joining. Thanks for subscribing to the channel. And you guys, I've changed my setup here. I don't have the virtual camera on, so I can't show the socials and all that kind of stuff. I got to reset that stuff up. But I appreciate you being here. If you guys could do the YouTube things, you know, the liking, the sharing, your comments here, your interaction with this stream, help YouTube to suggest it to other people. So I truly appreciate it. Thank you, Rebel Sith. Real Ben, Rada might know the location of the Empire, so maybe that's why he was hired, so he could get taken out, be silenced. Love Meg's idea. That wouldn't be my first guess. My like, let's put some pieces together. If Rada is a gladiator, and Rada is Jabba's son, then why would they be searching for him? Why would you have people hired to capture him? And this is one of the theories, right? Maybe he knows something. Well, why would a gladiator whose job is, you know, to go and fight others with a vibro sword or vibroblade, what would he know? How would he know it? What about his lineage? What about him being Jabba's heir, heir to Jabba's empire, if you will, to Jabba's fortune, to his situation? What about that, right? And we know that on Tatooine, that somebody else stepped in place of Jabba in his absence, and then in comes Boba Fett with Fennec Shand, and they quickly took control of things there. And Jabba, his empire, again, I'm just like his sphere of influence is now being controlled by Boba Fett. But and the twins come by and they're like, "Hey, we're Hutts. We should have this place." And they have a little a discussion. And at the end of the day, the twins say, "You know what? You can have it. See ya, bye." And they leave. So we have then Boba Fett controlling Jabba's place on Tatooine. Why would they want Rada? And why? What makes him so important, right? Think about those questions. Let's get caught up. Rereading the Clone Wars movie seems like a very Filoni Favreau. Yeah, retreading it. It very well could be. No, Matt. I hope Rada really does swallow Grogu and then digest him. No. I wonder if Imbo is working for the twin Hutts we saw in Book of Boba Fett. Now, Saber Smith, you may be onto something. Except there's more to come on this, and I think Meg kind of flirted with it a little bit today. I've seen others flirt with it. We have the remnant and the Shadow Council. Remember those Shadow Council folks And there's been some scenes, there's been some discussion. One of those shadow council folks shows up in some footage. My guess is that one of those shadow council people wants power, money, influence, and by controlling or capturing Rada the Hutt, that shadow council person may be able to leverage Rada's lineage to be able to get what he needs, right? So think about that. Maybe it's that. Let's see who else. Baymax makes sense that Rada is ripped in physical threat. I was always puzzled how Jabba was intimidating when he's basically incapable of movement, right? And Baymax touches on another thing here. This movie is getting a lot of head scratching. Like, what on earth is going on here? What in the galaxy far, far away is happening? I don't understand. We've had 3 seasons of the Mandalorian, and Ahsoka set up this storyline. This fits right after Book of Boba Fett, Mandalorian season 3, especially after Mandalorian season 3. This movie comes right in. What's going on? Why is this story about what's essentially just a Mandalorian episode? Like, this is just an episode of The Mandalorian. How can it possibly be a movie? This doesn't make sense. I don't get it. Yeah, you know what? Those may be fair. Those may be fair questions, because essentially, from what we've heard, it's sort of what it is. It's sort of a fun adventure. And if we can start, one thing I suspect is that some of these leaks are being fed to our leakers so that people can start to set their expectations about this movie being a fun adventure. It's not, contributing all that much to the larger story point. It's not feeding into Dave's movie per se, or feeding into, say, Ahsoka season 2, like maybe at all. So why do we have what amounts to a Mandalorian episode, kind of beefed up like Rada? Why do we have a Mandalorian episode as a movie at this time when we've been waiting so long for a movie? And now we get this. It's an episode of The Mandalorian. What? I don't get it. What's going on? Where's Thrawn? Isn't there something bigger going on? Maybe not. Maybe not. I think we need to recalibrate, to use that word, that this movie is a Mandalorian adventure. Mandalorian and Grogu go on an adventure. They're hired to do a thing. Remember, at the end of season 3, they went back to this homestead, and Grogu's hanging out there at the pond. He's catching frogs. He's having time of his life. And Din is sitting up on the porch with his feet up, kind of just watching his boy out there playing with the frogs at the pond. And that's life. And then he's there so he can help out with odd jobs as they come up. Well, this is an odd job. This is one of those things. Hey, we need some help. Who's available? Oh, I know a guy. He's really good. You need somebody found? You need somebody gotten? I got a guy, right? I got a guy. The guy would be Din Djarin, right? So, hey, Rebel. He says, back home in California, visiting my family. We're stoked to see your stream live. Hello. Good. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Rada could either be really cool looking or extremely goofy, which I'm worried about. Seth, I understand the concern. Let's hope it's more the former, right? That he's really cool looking and that this is a fun adventure. If we could get that in our heads and not this great big, scope, right? This movie fairly narrow scope, right? Oh, we're dancing. Yeah. Fairly narrow scope. It's a Mandalorian episode beefed up, right? Think of it that way. Let's get that, right? Think of Mandalorian episode beefed up, right? So Matt says, Rada the bear. No. I don't think Rada's going to be kidnapped. If anything, I think he'll hire someone like Imbo or maybe Mando. Follow the stories. I'll just say follow the stories and trust Bespin, right? Trust Bespin Bulletin. When you see him post something, when you see him write something, know that he's done his homework. And I know a lot of people are saying, well, I think it's a bait and switch. I think they're feeding us a bunch of stuff so they can surprise us. Oh, I don't think so. I don't think so. The only thing that can save this movie is the main villain, really, the Imperial Remnant. Matt, I think you're close. I think the main villain is going to be someone in the Imperial Remnant. What is their motivation? Why do they need Rada? Right? I already said, if Rada is a gladiator, he's a working man. He's not wealthy in and of himself. He's heir to Jabba's fortune, with Jabba's influence. His value is in that. And who needs it? And why do they need it? If you have a member of the Shadow Council, the Imperial Remnant, why do they want him? Why do they need him? Those are your questions. And watch for more. That's right. Sometimes the big bad is just the Pikes. True. Yes, Peanut is very vocal today. She's got things to say. Maybe Rada the Hutt twins from Book of Boba Fett will be fighting each other for power. The twins will probably hire Imbo, and Rada will hire the New Republic, which will send Din, who's serving them that sector. You might be onto something, Rebel Sith. You might be onto something. We have to put all the pieces together, right? We have to put the pieces together. There are more. There's more details to come, right? And I'm aware of some of them. I don't have permission to share them, but as time is due and people publish their stories, keep watching, right? Keep watching. There's more to come. He's performing for the Empire. Who is Rada the Hutt being a gladiator for? Now, that's a good question. Who's he working for as a gladiator? Normally, I was watching Mike yesterday on A Guy Who Loves Star Wars. Normally, gladiators, they work for something, right? For an entity, either a person or a government, something like that. Who's he performing for? Who's he working for? What is Rada doing as a gladiator and why? We'll find out. Rada, heir to the Empire, confirmed. No, Jedi Mike. No. Get that out of your head. I can tell you quite convincingly, and if you were here for our bonus content last week, you know what I shared. I would not expect to see anything from the big three. You're not going to see, Luke, Han, and Leia. I would not expect to see Thrawn. It's not part of the story. As I understand the story and what's been released so far, Thrawn has nothing to do with this whatsoever. The Shadow Council, perhaps, yeah? Is the Shadow Council necessarily working for Thrawn? Would we see him? Folks, I say no. I don't think. Is this going to feed into the Filoni movie? Are we going to see a setup for Heir to the Empire? Is this really like a prelude to the Heir to the Empire story that rumored that Dave Filoni will be doing? A prelude to that, maybe, but not really. Think of it. I'll say it again. I'll keep saying it over and over. Think of it as a fun adventure, a Mandalorian episode beefed up. Think of it that way, right? Let's see. Now we can all get behind the Shadow Council in reforming the Imperial reign. Oh, Mumbo Jimbo, hello. Hey ho, hello there. Woo. Good to see you. Woo. Yeah. Oh my goodness, let me get caught up. Unlimited power. Yeah. Star Wars politics. Hey guys, someone has been impersonating me on a guy who loves Star Wars channel. He mentioned me in a couple of videos recalling comments, reciting comment. It's not me. I was not watching live. Star Wars politics. Is there there's an imposter, you say? People are crushing this on this movie. The main thing I keep hearing is, oh, this is a Clone Wars episode, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's a retelling of the Clone Wars movie. There's nothing in this movie. This is a big letdown. It's a disappointment. What do you mean it's not building up? We've been waiting for years for Star Wars to return to theaters. We're expecting a great big blockbuster hit. This doesn't sound like a great big blockbuster hit. Sounds like a Mandalorian episode. Oh, you're right. It does. And it is, right? Think of it more that way. If you at least think of it that way, when you see it, you won't be disappointed, right? Maybe it will exceed your expectations. Let's hope that it's not so bad that people lose interest and they don't show up to see it. Let's see. Vader's lair. Hello. Oh, good to see you, my friend. Sheev the Wise. Vader's lair. Good to see you. In fact, I'm doing a live stream in a couple hours with our friends. Star Wars Obsession. Vader's lair is going to be there. Nerd Mafia. Some of our friends, we're going to be on. We're trying to drive up some subscriptions for a friend. And if you guys are looking for that, it's already in the description here. If you're not subscribed to Star Wars Obsession, you can find the link to that live stream. It's just in 2 hours and 15 minutes. If you'd like to come see us over there, I may just release another exclusive, an exclusive leak about the Mandalorian Grogu movie. Something I know that has never been published. Maybe. I've asked for permission. We'll see. We'll see if I get permission to release it. So come hang out over there. If we meet our goal, I may just share an exclusive leak for the Mando-Grogu movie. One that's not been published anywhere. Promise you, right? I wonder if they're going to put it on Disney Plus at the same time as the movie. I don't think they would. I think it'll come out afterwards, right? My assumption going into the movie was our main characters have to have some sort of adventure to get them back into the fight after the kind. Hello, real Ben Maynard. On the nose, my friend. You've got it. Last time we saw Din and Grogu, what were they doing? They're hanging out at the homestead. They got their feet kicked up, catching frogs, living the good life. What's going to get him back in the fight? Somebody hires him for a job. Coming out of that, now he's got something to do, right? Right? Let's see. Who else? Have they still to do reshoots and pickup shots? Oh, okay. So it looks like the chat has kind of looped on me. If I missed your comment, come back, right? Put it back in the chat and we'll take a look, right? Jedi Mike put the link here. So there you go. Mando-Grogu, a Mandalorian episode blown up. Why does it exist? Well, we're going to touch base on our Imperial Remnant, the Shadow Council. We're going to get Din involved. And will they be able to convince him to join the fight? Be part of the New Republic. Come alongside. Come on, join up, right? No, what's going to happen? And are we looking at a Han Solo? This is where I keep going in my head. Are we going from Han Solo in A New Hope, where he's like, I'm here just for the paycheck, right? Don't worry, princess. I just want your money, right? We go from that to the end of Empire Strikes Back, when Han is now a general, right, in the rebellion. Maybe that's the deal, right? Din, so far, he's been, hey, I'm here for the money. Give me the credits. And maybe by the end of this movie, he'll have signed up. We shall see. We shall see. There's more to come. More to come. Hey there, Revan. Good to see you. Maybe the Mando gig will make it impossible for them to go back to quiet life as well. They're involved. There you go, Baymax. All right, we're getting there. Litrix, hello. Oh, good to see you. I missed out on once the stream's done. Well, good to see you, Litrix. We have another story, and I told you to put a pin in it, a placeholder, and we'll come back to it. Right here we go. Bespin Bulletin. We're back to Bespin. Ryan Gosling in talks to star. Now, this is a word that's, he's a star, and he may be in the movie, but is he going to be the star or a star of the movie? That's the question. Let's read, shall we? Let's read. What does Bespin have to say? Right? Mike, Mike Porter, I don't think I did see your comment. It says the Hollywood Reporter first broke the news of Gosling's talks, revealed Gosling entered talks, has shifted the focus of Levy's film schedule. The outlet revealed Levy was eyeing his next film to be a comedy focusing on a boy band members reuniting middle-aged years, and would have seen Levy reunite with Hugh Jackman, Ryan Reynolds for the venture. But Gosling, late in the game, talks has shifted Levy's priorities to Star Wars, right? It says, THR was unable to share any additional details on Gosling's possible casting or what the plot of Levy's film would entail. They only added that the film is currently set to be a standalone. It's worth remembering the same was said for the past projects that never came to light, such as New Jedi Order, which is being developed as a standalone. But if successful, sequels could be spawned. Okay, it's not meant to be a trilogy or anything. It's a movie, and if it does well, maybe we'll get more, right? Deadline added, the film is not connected to Skywalker Saga. It is not a launching point for Episode 10. Deadline added that Lucasfilm and Levy are looking to begin shooting in the fall, which lines up with a past report from Jeff Snyder, who previously shared Sean Levy was keeping a window open for September for the Star Wars flicks. Past reports from Snyder also pointed towards the film's being the film's lead being a teenage boy or young man, and that Daisy Ridley's Rey Skywalker would feature. The Rey would be older and than planned in Charmaine Obaid-Chinoy's movie. All right, I think this is all we need, right? This is all we need from this. We don't know if, first of all, we don't know that Gosling has signed. Second of all, we don't know if he's the star. We don't know that he's the lead. We don't know if he might be showing up in a 5-minute cameo, the same as we've seen other major stars who show up in Star Wars. Sigourney Weaver, she's going to be in Mando-Grogu movie. Is she a star of the movie? Well, no, she's not a star of the movie. Is she a lead? No. Does she have a role? Yeah. Is there an important thing she does? Maybe. It is small. Gosling may sign, and people are like, oh, look, we're going to have a Ryan Gosling Star Wars. Well, hold on, my friends. Calm down. Let's just wait, right? Let's just wait. Calm down. We don't know. Secondly, when would this movie be set? I heard on the guy who loves Star Wars, I heard yesterday all kinds of nonsense about, well, maybe this or that time and this other time and the other. No, it's set during right after the sequel trilogy. It's going to feature Rey Skywalker. She may not be the lead. It's going to feature Rey Skywalker, Daisy Ridley. Let's go back to the story, because the story said another thing. It said, let's go back to what it was supposed to star, right? Let's go back. Let's see, casting. Wait, where was it? Begin shooting, keeping a window open. Oh, here it is. The lead was a teenage boy or young man. Gosling is neither teenage or young. He is like 40-ish. Starring, right? It's going to feature Rey Skywalker and star a teenage boy or young man. This isn't starring Ryan Gosling. It's not starring Ryan Gosling. Who knows what they may have changed? The young boy, the teenage boy or young man may have evolved to be now Gosling's character's age, right? And it's going to feature Rey Skywalker. Doesn't mean it's going to star Rey Skywalker, but it's a Rey Skywalker movie. You guys, pay attention. Just pay attention. It says it's not connected to the Skywalker saga. No, it says that in this story, Matt. Let's read the story again, shall we? Sometimes it helps when you go through it the third or fourth time, right? Let's go through it again. The deadline added, the film is not connected to the Skywalker saga. It is not a launching point for episode 10. Next sentence. Deadline added, they're looking to begin shooting this fall, which lines up with a report for Jeff Snyder. A connects to B, right there, right? The A to B. B, Jeff Snyder, previously shared Sean Levy's keeping a window open for September, and past reports from B, Snyder, also pointed that films being led by teenage boy and Daisy Ridley's Rey Skywalker would feature. This ain't hard, folks. This ain't hard. It's basic, right? Basic. Doesn't tie to the Skywalker saga. Doesn't mean that it just means that storyline is over. We're picking up news stories. We may start a news story. Look, read it again. Read it again, Palpatine. As long as it's not Plagueis. I've already read it. So look, this is going to be a movie featuring Rey Skywalker, set post-sequel trilogy, and Ryan Gosling may have a role. What is that role? Will he be a lead? Will he be a star? We don't know. Calm down. Wait. Just wait for it. Wait for it. Right? Wait for it. We'll get more information as it comes, right? But this also aligns with other things that we've heard. Daisy Ridley being in a movie. It's not going to be Charbade Chenoy's movie, which is, to me, I think a good thing. But it very well could be this. Also, there were rumors of a trilogy being floated about that would also feature Rey Skywalker, also not connected to the Skywalker saga. Turn off the heater, right? Just because it has somebody doesn't mean it's tied to the saga, right? So, yeah. At one point, we had 5 movies that had Daisy Ridley featured in some aspect. We're down maybe now to 4 or just 1. But what we're looking at here is a post-sequel trilogy starring or featuring Ray Skywalker and perhaps a role for Ryan Gosling, right? So there, let's keep that, right? Let's keep that. Let's go back. Let's go back. So then her name really is Ray Skywalker all of a sudden. Well, yeah, her name really is Ray Skywalker. Matt, it is Ray Skywalker. I would have rather they just left it just Ray. But yeah, Ray Skywalker. Luke and Leia, they mentored her, and when she was asked, and she looked over to them, they gave her the high, thumbs up, go with it. Ray Skywalker. Yeah. The Mando-Grogu movie is an excuse to sell more merch. Oh, you just wait for it, Mike Porter. You don't even know. You just skinned the surface of that. You just skinned the surface. You wait until you hear the merch that's going to come out of this movie. I'm aware of some things. Not only are you going to get a buff hut. We've never had a buff hut before. That'll be a new merch, right? Getting a gladiator hut. Oh boy, Rada the gladiator hut. That'll be merch. Get your own Halloween costume so you could dress up like a hut with a vibra sword. I don't know, but yeah, there's going to be that. We're also going to have more. There's more. I know a couple of things. Maybe one I'll share in just 2 hours from now. Just over 2 hours from now. Let's see what else we have. Let's see. Bespin likes to put his Ko-Fi ad in the middle of important information. That's true. That's true. Litrix. Neeson was mid-40s when he was Qui-Gon. Sure, Gosling can play a mid-30s. Either way, give the man a saber. Well, or a blaster. Either way. Grandma Rey foiled. Yes, that's not happening. But the character of Rey is inherently connected to the Skywalker saga. Well, I get you, Matt. I understand. From a certain point of view, you could say it's part of the Skywalker saga because she's part of the Skywalker saga. She's a Palpatine after all. And her last name is Skywalker now. Doesn't that continue the Skywalker saga? No, because the saga ended with Palpatine's death. His final death. He's dead. Right? Well, I'm not dead yet. Whack. Yeah, now you are. He's dead. So with Palpatine dying, we have no more Skywalker bloodline, right? Rey is a Skywalker by adoption, by taking on the family name. She's a Skywalker, but she's not Skywalker by blood. She's Palpatine by blood. But what happens if she doesn't have any children and you don't have that bloodline continue, which I hope is the case. I hope that she never has children and that bloodline is done, right? But we'll see. We'll see. All I know, Star Wars fans are going to react extremely well and civil with this information. Yeah, you're not lying. Star Wars Politics just became a member. Thank you for your support, my friend. If Rey is in the movie and her name really Rey Skywalker, then the next movie she appears in is inherently connected to the Skywalker saga. They opened this door by changing her name. Well, even if they did it, Matt, she was a Palpatine. So Rey inherently, by blood or by adoption, continues those family names. But that Skywalker saga began with Anakin and ended with Ben. That's it, right? And the whole thing bridged with Palpatine. From the beginning to the end, the saga was with Sheev, Palpatine, with Sheev's passing and Ben's passing. That's it. There's no more. Unless Rey has a child, and please, dear Lord, let's not have that happen. Right? May have missed this Any scuttlebutt on the time period of this Gosling thing? Yes, it's going to be sequel era. It's post-sequel era, right? Just after that. Just after. I also heard Grogu reunites with more people of his kind. No, Mike Porter, you're being funny. It's just they start a galactic boy band and Mando manages. That's your movie. There you go. You could be writing for Meg. Meg's been doing mumbo jimbo. That's horrible. You hope that your favorite character never has the joy of having children. Look, only because I want all avenues to bringing Palpatine back or continuing the saga to end. She can be the mentor for a new class of Jedi, a new Jedi Order. She can help with establishing and saving the universe from other things. Just please, no children. Please, no. Matt, you're terrible. You're terrible. Look, I've got another story. And this comes directly from Bespin. Bespin did give me permission to share this with you, and he has not yet published it. Another story that I've not yet seen the details for. So you guys bookmark it. Here we go. We're going to jump into this story. And when he publishes this, I'm sure it will become more. But here you go. The numbers are out for Skeleton Crew. Oh, wrong window. Hold on a second here. It says the numbers are out for Skeleton Crew episode 7. After the 7th episode, it still did not break into the streaming originals chart. The 10th position had 377 minutes watched. Skeleton Crew had less than that. But if we take the 377 minutes, divide it by the series runtime, it has less than 1.5 million viewers. Oh, there's the take of views. He says 1.5 million views, not viewers. That's just using the math, right? Less than 1.5 million views. Oof. I'm certain that's not what Lucasfilm or Disney were expecting or hoping from this series. Neither is it what I think many fans want to see. Many fans would love to see this in the higher viewership, right? And that the numbers are growing week to week, and that we would break into the top 10, maybe break into the top 3, hit number 1. But after the 7th episode, we are still lower than 1.5 million views. Less than 1.5 million viewers worldwide. Ouch. Ouch. Additionally, Disney finally had their first entry on the chart since Agatha All Along in Goosebumps, which had the 577 million views. So not only did Skeleton Crew have less than 377 minutes, Goosebumps had 577 minutes. Whew. Well, that's not good news. That's not good news at all. For all of us who would love to see a Skeleton Crew season 2, this does not bode well. And you may have heard me talk about this before, but I think the experiment of live action Star Wars on streaming service, I think that's done. I think it's done. I think the experiment is dead. At this point, how can you possibly justify return of investment of the production cost of any live action series, loved or hated, to have less than 1.5 million views? Woo. Yeah. You've got to have more, right? You got to have more views, and you have to keep those budgets down. Ben says, see, I just wonder, as Star Wars fans, if we have to lower overall expectations of viewership, box office, etc. It just feels like the overall brand has taken a hit. Maybe. But here's the thing. Star Wars, you go back, the original trilogy, between the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy, was a decade. I mean, more than a decade. Go between the prequel trilogy and the sequel trilogy, again, another decade. Now we've had back to back to back to back. People talk about saturation and people talk about fatigue and blah, blah, blah. No, Star Wars made its mark, built its brand on blockbuster movie releases, not on live action shows. Mandalorian and Grogu broke the mold because it came out during a pandemic, global pandemic, when people were prevented from going to movies. They couldn't go to social events, couldn't go to your sports ball events, couldn't do anything. You had to stay in your home. And Mandalorian and Grogu came out, large hit, merch success, all the things that you could want. But as we go back to life as normal, we've seen those viewerships fall off. And that's across the board. It's not just Star Wars, but it's across the board. I do think it's critical we get back to theaters, theatrical releases. That's the number one priority they should have. Get back to theatrical releases. Is The Mandalorian and Grogu that big theatrical blockbuster that Star Wars needs? I don't think so. Just from what I know and what I've heard, I don't think so. But can they keep the budget low enough? And can they sell enough tickets to pay for it? Right? And to keep the ROI up? Let's hope. Right? Let's hope. More to come on that. Let's move on. A couple more things I would like to share. The first being there were some Hasbro reveals this last week. We have from the Kenobi show. And this one kind of goes beyond just the Kenobi show because it's your clone trooper, the 501st Legion. This is a Kenobi show carded, but these figures are certainly something you could use in your collection. For anybody with a 501st, you can collect these. Secondly, we have several Ahsoka carded things. This first one's the Mandalorian Super Commando. This was from the World Between Worlds flashback. And you can also see here that this figure, since it was from the World Between Worlds flashback and goes back to the Clone Wars era, this is another figure you could collect multiple of just as you're doing those kind of things, right? Next, this is the one we've been waiting for, my friends. Balin's skull in the vintage collection. There are lots more pictures to go along with this, but Balin's skull on the Ahsoka card, fantastic. One of the best new characters to be introduced to the franchise in recent years, following Mandalorian and Grogu, of course. But Balin's skull, a fan favorite. And along with him comes Shin Hati. Now, this has the unfortunate characteristic of having the same sort of face sculpt the Black Series did. I thought with the feedback Hasbro got from the Black Series Shin Hati that they would have improved this vintage collection one. The only resemblance this figure has to this is that Shin is on the card where you buy the figure. That's the only relationship they have, because she looks nothing like her. Like the face sculpt here. Ooh, not so good. Not so good. But look here. I saw a lot of complaints about the size. Now, vintage collection is known for being 3.75 scale. That's the scale. We don't end up with a lot of height difference between like the real characters in the shows and the figures, because they're 3.75 scale. So they tend to all be kind of normalized around that. But if you look here, you can see Balin and Shin. Balin is a good head higher than taller than Shin, which is at least a start, right? That's not bad. I do hope that they get her head sculpt corrected, because it's not good, right? Not good at all. When you get another vintage collection, there's the 4-pack of battle droids. They mentioned these have been redone so they can stand properly. The legs have been kind of redesigned and articulated so that they'll stand. So there's that. Then we have two Black series. We've got Captain Rex, Clone Captain Rex. My friend Yachty, her favorite character of all. Yachty has all kinds of Rex stuff. You've got Clone Captain Rex for Black series. Again, this comes from Ahsoka from the flashback scene. And then finally, you've got Anakin Skywalker, also from Ahsoka from the clone era. These are going to be very, very popular for our Black series collectors. So, folks, there's that. All right. I think I made it through all the news. I think I got through all of it. Right. And that's good. And I know, Jedi Mike, we were going to have you on, but I just barely made it through the news in over an hour. So, Mike, I will get you on soon, and we'll talk. All right, we'll get you in soon. It's just not going to be time today. I just need to get through the comments here, do a Mike Porter dad joke, and wrap it up. Because in 2 hours, we're going to be over on Star Wars Obsession doing a community unity stream, trying to get subs up for a friend of ours so that they can reach another milestone there. So let's see. Yeah, I think the streaming part of Star Wars pretty much toast after Ahsoka. That and animated. We're still waiting to see an animated Star Wars announcement. We need one of those really, really big. Matt is poking the bear. He and Star Wars politics are hazing each other in the chat. You two behave. But you're both being naughty. See, I just wonder, Star Wars fans, if we have to lower. Oh wait, I already read that from Ben. And I have an experiment I want to try here in just a minute. Right? We both got the same reward, but he's a half a point behind you. Right? Everybody gets the same. You just have to keep up or beat me. Everybody gets the same. Whatever it is that you want. So maybe you won't get the same reward because Matt will order something different than you, Star Wars. Yeah, you don't know. You don't know. With your influence on this Skeleton Crew episode 8 predictions, I had no choice but to copy Santa. I blame your influence as failure. But there are plenty of shows which are doing well. This is just an indicator how damaged the brand currently is, and specifically how much damage Acolyte did. Well, that's your opinion, Baymax. I'm not going to argue that the Acolyte was divisive, and that many people tuned out during the Acolyte. But I don't know how much of that could be directly attributed to the viewership of Skeleton Crew. Directly attributed to. There's certainly some. But I don't know that it has as big of an influence as you may think. I see plenty of people who have the Acolyte listed as maybe their very, very favorite Disney Plus Star Wars series. I see plenty of people who are still clamoring for an Acolyte season 2. See plenty of people who are absolutely fascinated with those characters and want to see their stories continued. There are also a group of people who say no. Skeleton Crew is a different project, different. And one thing I've seen is like all your social media influencers, Star Wars Theory, Star Wars Meg, my friend, a guy who loves Star Wars with over 100,000 subscribers, some big Star Wars channels. I think even EBN gave the Skeleton Crew a decent overall kind of take. So word on the street seems fairly good. And I don't know that people are punishing Skeleton Crew just because they hated the Acolyte. That makes no sense, right? That's cutting your nose off to spite your face, as my mom used to say, right? Don't do that, right? Don't do that. If you want good Star Wars, you have to support good Star Wars, and whatever that means to you. Your version of good Star Wars is completely different from somebody else's, right? Yeah. Will Morgan, I saw I saw Meta Egg in the chat, right? Let's see what else we have here. You guys are still going on. Is corruption? Smell corruption. Let's see. Please just tell me you are a winner. Well, Star Wars politics, you, my friend, are a winner. There you go. The Acolyte did not turn the fan base against Star Wars. The fan base did that by themselves. I agree with you, Will Morgan. I agree with you. Hi, Hoga. Good to see you. I'd love to see season 2 of The Acolyte. It was just getting started. So much potential. You're not alone. You're not alone. For the most part, it seems like Skeleton Crew is minimum neutral to positive. Yeah. Let's see. We need a string of W's. No, I don't disagree. All right. Let's see. Are we caught up? All right. I think we're caught up. Join over. Yeah. Is Peanut sleeping? Yeah, she's not sleeping, but she's calmed down. Right? Are you better? Are you a good girl? No. She's behaving now. Exclusive. An exclusive leak for the Mando-Grogu movie in just 2 hours. If we achieve the milestone we're looking for, and I get permission. I have permission for, if I get permission, I have an exclusive leak for Mando-Grogu movie to share with all of you over on Star Wars Obsession in just a couple hours. The link is here in the chat and or in the description. I will post it out on Discord as well. And you guys, please come find us over there. And we're going to do our Mike Porter dad joke. Thank you so much for that, Nicole. Is Gosling a lead for that movie? No, no. We'll see. You guys, thanks so much. Let's get into the Mike Porter dad joke. And Mike Porter says, "What was Han Solo's cat famous for?" Can you give us a meow? No, you're not talking now. What was Han Solo's cat famous for? Well, it made the Meowsle run in 12 parsecs. Oh. Mike Porter, thank you as always. Yeah, the best stream in the last hour. Look, Matt, it's better than the point tabulation stream, right? If you were here for the point tabulation stream, this was better than that. At least I hope so, right? I hope so. All right, you guys. Thank you all for being here. Matt, I saw this this meme earlier. It said, anyway. You guys, thanks for being here. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Just a fantastic weekend. And spend some time with family. Touch grass if you can, right? That's always good. And until next time, my friends, may the force be with you always. And ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas. Bye-bye.